truth.
Welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sabastian Roberts and Scott Huger.
Welcome to the little show that could, and in fact, it still does. I'm Sabastian Roberts, along with my long-term dear friend of over 20 years, Scott Huger. Scotty, what's up?
20 years?
I know.
No, I don't think it's been that long, Bash.
Yeah, you don't, huh?
You're kind of telling me my age, and that's not good.
2003 was when I had the surgery, so I met you about 2005, 20 years ago.
It's been that. You know what I'm excited about, Bash, is to be able to help some indie artists or some aspiring people moving to Nashville, trying to make their way through this thing they call the music business.
Right.
So it's going to be fun kind of telling our story. I'm excited.
And I kind of thought the same thing when, you and I have been in the business. The folks out there don't know a lot about that yet, but we're going to tell them in this half hour anyway. I've seen a lot of stages. I've seen a lot of producers. I've seen a lot of awards. I've seen a lot of red carpets along with you because of you and with your help. And I've reached a certain age and I got to a point that, what do I have left to offer music and what are we going to do from here, right? So I kind of relaxed in my own little world, I guess, so to speak. And when you brought up the idea of a podcast, I thought, you know what? Oh my gosh, we can actually still do something with music, right?
But think about, it's our story. I remember it wasn't too long ago, somebody really high in the executive business told me, the one thing about the music business is everybody has their own story, and everybody is going to make their own story, and that's how you will find your path. That's how you'll make your way. So some of the things that we tell you may not, go along with your story.
It might not jive.
It might not, but this is our story, and that's what's cool.
Everybody has a different method. I found we call a lot of people. You'll hear us say circus carnies a lot because in my in our journeys through Nashville and Hollywood and Florida and just all the different places we've been all over the country. They all have their own circus carnies. They all have their own idea, right? I mean, this is how you're going to make it in the business, and just give me 45.
Number one.
Give me $4,500. I'll put you on top of the charts. I mean, that seems to be a magic number, and it just doesn't quite work out that way. There are certain things to know, and in this show. That's what I love about what we're doing. I think we're going to be able to give artists and listeners as well. If you're just a music fan, man, stick around. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. If you're just a fan of concerts and live groups and
Nashville,
what to see local, stick around. If you're in the garage trying to figure out what to do with yourself, stick around. We're going to show you.
The cool thing though is that Nashville, people go, it's a country western town. It's not. It's all kinds of music. And it's a family-oriented town. You can bring your kids there, and you can have a wonderful time. They can hang out in some of the honky-tonks till 7 o'clock at night. There's great meals. A lot of these artists down there have fantastic menus that you can choose from. It's a great atmosphere. So we're excited to talk to you about Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, Nashville's awesome. And, there's Hollywood. Hollywood was its own flavor. I spent a lot of time down there. That was incredible. What a journey that was. But let's talk about you for just a minute. So I want to give the listeners an idea of where we come from, because we didn't start off in Nashville, certainly. Both of us came from like a dead-end dirt road halfway to Canada, if you will. Scotty here is from Hibbing, down the street from Mr. Bob Dylan, wasn't it?
Bob Dylan, close, one of my bestest friends, still one of my bestest friends today, lives about a rock's throw away from Bob's house where he grew up. Little square house on the corner. It was purple at one time. They changed the color now recently. But anybody who's a fan of Bob, geez, go to Hibbing, Minnesota. Go get Sammy's Pizza and run over to the Hibbing High School where
I
Bob
still remember Sammy's Pizza.
It's fantastic. And then Bob's house, they'll let you tour through there, and it's pretty cool.
So how did you? Let me ask you this. Because I know what it is. I know the answer, but I want the people to know it and kind of get a bit of a background of how in the world you ended up in Nashville. So take us from, let's see, when we met.
I'll go before that. When I was in Hibbing with my parents, they had this little organ at the top of the stairs. The carpet was green. That's 1970s, you guys. It's a while ago. And you go up these 22 steps, and at the top there was this little Magnum organ that my mom would play.
22 steps.
I remember.
Oh my!
And I would sit down there and by her and I'd watch her play this organ, and I thought, that's just so beautiful. I want to learn how to do it. So I started learning how to play the organ, just on my own. figured out what chords were, figure out how to play Silent Night's first song I ever learned how to sing and play, by the way. and my dad in that process bought himself a roller rink, and we had a roller rink in the town of Hibbing, and I was on the mic just about every single day. And I fell in love with two things, entertainment, music, and being around the people. And those are the things that I knew I was going to do in my life. I just didn't know how I was going to do it.
Right, right. And then, so you ended up down in my end of town up there in Anoka, Minnesota, or Bethel, I guess, Cedar. And what were you doing there?
I was running a bar.
No.
Well, I did everything to try to get myself out of the music business. I ran a retail chain of stores. I ran a couple different restaurants. I did all kinds of things just to try to make myself believe that music wasn't where I belong. And fast forward to today, I never would have thought I'd be managing a Billboard top 13 artist in my career. But it just all starts from somewhere. And when you believe in yourself and believe in God, you can get somewhere on your own.
No, there is that. I when I met Scotty, I'll tell you the story. I went into a bar in Bethel, Minnesota. And yeah. And I really thought that I was the cock of the walk. No kidding.
Got my attention.
I mean, I was a garage band bar singer. Really, that was it. And I walk into this bar, and I'm sitting at the bar, and like I said, I was really full of myself. And
you had a black trench coat on, I remember.
Yeah. Hey, I had clothes on underneath. Listen. And so Scotty had come up to me and he said, listen, I understand you're in the music business. I said, oh, yeah, no kidding. And he's, just like a jackass. And Scotty said, well, I have a couple songs. Would you record me? And I said, absolutely not. And he walked away and I felt just like a real dick. And so that bothered me for about 15, 20 minutes. And he came back by and I said, look, I'll tell you what, if you can come by on Sunday, at 10 o'clock, and I'm not talking about 9:45 or 10:15 or 10:05. I said 10 o'clock. If you will come at 10 o'clock, I'll bring the band in and we'll cut it. And I'll tell you what, on Sunday, my bass player and drummer showed up, and I'm looking down the dead-end dirt road with binoculars. And there's a white pickup truck sitting down there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that white Chevy. Was it a Chevy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't sponsored us yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not getting paid. And I told my bass player, I said, OG, we called him OG Bogan. He had a marijuana problem. And I said, I think that's him sitting down there. And he waited, honest to God, he waited until 9:59 and he
10.
rolled up. Yep. He rolled up that dirt road, pulled in the driveway at exactly 10 o'clock.
You said 10.
And so that's kind of where a lot of this started. Actually, that's where a lot of this started because Scotty came in and I listened to the songs and they were good. And
Thanks.
Scott was having a bit of an off vocal day. So I said, here, I'll tell you what, I'll cut the vocal tracks for you and learn them like karaoke and then come back and we'll lay your vocal tracks down, And I think it was a few days later.
Yeah.
I get a phone call and it's some cat in Jacksonville, Florida. And he says, hey, is this Sabastian? I said, well, who's this? I think it's a bill collector, And he says, well, this is so-and-so from Jacksonville, Florida. And I manage Tommy Two-Tone and Leonard Skinner. And he's dropping names. And I said, what? He said, is that your voice on this CD? I said, what voice? And Scotty had sent the vocal from my demo that I did for him down to Florida. And this cat calls me up and he says, listen, I want you to come down to Florida and work with Tommy Two-Tone. I said, well, for the love of God, I'm in a heavy metal band. This was really not in my wheelhouse at all.
Right.
And, well.
You know why, though? You could sing.
Well,
And I had that connection. I had that connection with Steve down in Florida, and I knew you could sing, and I knew you could sing better than me, and I knew I was out competition. So why not help somebody who helped me? That's how I work. You connect the dots.
Well, it connected a heck of a lot of dots.
Yeah, thanks,
because, yes, we went down to Florida, and I ended up working with Tommy Two-Tone, and Scotty and Tommy and I got together in that was an apartment in Smyrna, right?
Yeah, an apartment there in Smyrna.
In Smyrna, Tennessee, yeah. And we wrote a record called It Is What It Is. And Tommy, Scotty, and I collaborated on this thing. And next thing you know, we're in Omni Studio a few days later, like 3 days later. And we cut a record in a day.
In a day.
And it was fantastic.
Well, this is some of the kind of stuff we're going to tell these guys about. Our story, how it works, how we got there, what we did, the fun part, the icky part, the yelling matches, the assholes.
We've had a lot of that.
Yeah.
We have.
Sometimes, we didn't get along very well, but it was just a creative thing. Sometimes I was smarter in certain things on the business side. And
always.
Thanks. And most times John was, he knew the artist part, and I couldn't hear it, but he did. And so it was cool.
It's a really great combination.
John, what happened to you? Tell me about before that. Before I met you, you were doing a bunch of stuff, and you were in Louisville,
acid, cocaine.
Holy moly!
I did, yeah. I was a mess. I was a heavy metal singer, and as you can imagine, I'm out playing in the bars, and drugs was a thing for me. Alcohol was a really big thing for me, and it was just like banging your head against a wall. As every Friday night we get in the studio, party our butts off.
Downstairs, it was at your house. You had a smoke machine and fog machine.
We had lasers.
Oh yeah, big drum kit.
Yeah,
Thumper's back there going crazy.
Yeah, he was.
For me, when I walked there, I went, holy moly!
Yeah,
what's going on here?
Yeah, if you could picture this,
Disneyland.
He had a 27-piece Pearl drum kit, and it was a wraparound in plexiglass in my basement. And we had our own 100-amp electric service down there. We ran a full PA. So the whole band that was down there was mic'd, and it was incredible.
For me, it was like I walked in and went, somebody's like, don't touch it. And I'm like, I'm going to touch it. Don't touch that drum kit. That's not mine. That's Thumper's. And the first thing I want to do is I want to play it. Even I don't know how, but I want to play it.
I know. I played on that drum kit every time he was gone.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I did, yeah. He knew if I sat on his drum stool, man, he knew it.
How would he not?
Yeah, he knows.
Now you know.
Yeah. Now I know, yeah. But, yeah, so, I was, I guess, in my own comfort zone. So it was cool for me to play on Friday nights. Once in a while, we did a gig on Saturday or Friday, or Friday and Saturday, We played a few, bars up there in my neck of the woods, so to speak. And I really wasn't doing much. And then when the Tommy Two-Tone thing happened, and we're going to go way more into depth in this in upcoming episodes where...
remember going from taking CDs and chucking them off the back there?
That ain't going to work.
That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. Some of the best writers in Nashville. That ain't going to work.
So what I was going to do with the Two-Tone thing is... I was going to keep my metal band at the house and just go find out what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, I went to Nashville after that with Scotty, and the music was so flippin' good. I ended up, now I'm playing at Tootsie's and the Stage and
CMAs.
Roberts. And, oh, my God, we're playing all over the place.
Yeah, I got you at the CMAs.
So I kind of distanced myself from the metal band. And folks, you're going to find, if you are in the music business or even not, or if you're trying... if you're one of the partiers in the basement, that part is going to end.
Roughly.
Yes, abruptly.
Well, the thing is that it's business in Nashville, and it's all business.
It is
and
business.
there's the owners own and pay those taxes and pay for those bars lots and lots of money, and it's your job to sell beer and keep people in their seats and not go to the next bar. So when we brought down a couple of John's player, we literally looked at the board op and said, mute 6.
Yeah, we
won't kick him off the stage because we don't hurt his feelings, but nobody's going to hear him.
That is a true story. I brought my bass player down from Minnesota, and I got up in the morning, and we were doing the CMA, right?
Yep.
And we were doing four shows a day at Tootsie's, and they were kind enough to let us have the main stage. It was just a wonderful thing. And I got up in the morning, and OG Bogan, I walked in the bathroom, and it smelled like weed.
Yeah.
And I said, Mark, I asked you just one day, man, can't you just not smoke pot today? And you just couldn't even do that. He goes, hey, it's going to be fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine, dude. But what we're saying by that is, the partying doesn't work at this next level. If you're happy being in a basement and getting hammered and thinking you sound great and staring in a mirror,
it's great. You can have a nice career.
That's awesome.
And if you carry a tune, you'll have a nice career on your hometown. Do it.
It's
great.
Fun. It is a good time.
But remember, it's called the music business.
That's fact.
And the business sometimes, and especially today, is before the music. And that's something that I can't wait to get into.
Yeah, I can't either. And so, so after the Two-Tone thing, I'm going to break this down pretty quick, and we'll get into it in, other episodes. But after Two-Tone, then we got some interest from other songwriters, Tommy Barnes and Rawson and Nicholson and Jeffrey Steele. And next thing you know, I have this record together that is called The Unwanted Man. It's called Unwanted Man. And it's a
homage to songwriters.
Yeah.
I mean, you paid homage to them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was my idea, was to use the best songwriters I could find. I mean, I shopped, a couple thousand songs. 2,500 songs I shopped to find the right ones that fit me and fit what my, message
To think
was.
about that for a minute. You have to lock yourself in a room. It doesn't matter if the place is on fire. You have to find the best 20 and then work down from there. Well, that is not easy.
Yeah, Oliverius told me, he said, try to break these down to 200. And he said, then, John, what I want you to do is, break that 200 to 100, the 100 to 50, the 50 to 25, the 25 to 20. And out of the 20, I want you to find 12 that are going to be the ones you cut. And that's exactly what I did. I literally locked myself in a studio and listened to stuff all day, all night. And they're such good songs. Oh, my God.
It's not karaoke. The music business is not karaoke.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, you have to sell the song that you picked on a vocal, like a Carrie Underwood, like a Garth, like a Bob Dylan. Yeah. You sell those vocals to the people and then make money off of your vocal and off what you sold. And that's the part where the music comes in. And that's when you can separate yourself from, am I a karaoke singer or am I an artist?
Right. And well, yeah. And it's a big, big difference, and it's a really cool difference because, going in the studio with Two-Tone was mind-blowing. Going in the studio with Oliverius and Lori Morgan, we'll tell you about that when we get back in just a minute. We're going to take a break.
You're tuned in to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sabastian and Scott. I think they've been dropped off at a few Nashville bars themselves.
Here we go. Podcasters, it's time to level up your sound. Don't let your show get lost in the noise. You need exciting intros, powerful outros, and smooth transitions that keep your listeners hooked. That's where podcast production music comes in. From polished production elements to custom sound design, Mark Maynor is your audio production professional, delivering broadcast quality results every time. Call Mark at 727-609-7366 or visit podcastproductionmusic.com. That's podcastproductionmusic.com, and bring your podcast to life. Sound Pro, stand out. Podcast production music.
So we're back. Scotty and I are laughing all the time when we do this stuff. And I mean, my God, is this just fun or what?
Oh my God. What about our producer, Mark?
I mean, so we
got to get into that because this guy is a gem, and we're blessed to have him. But we'll get into that for sure.
Yeah, and you just heard the promo on this, and I want to explain something to everybody.
Oh, what a talent!
Scott and I are not here making money.
It's not about that.
This is about partnerships, friendships, and co-branding. That's another episode we'll talk about again, right, Scotty?
Yeah, for sure. We have to have co-branding. Co-branding is everything in the music business. Don't take, see how much you can give and see what that gets you in Nashville.
That's exactly right. And I've been told that a lot.
It works. And do a lot of listening. I learned that day one. Shut your mouth and listen. And then as time goes on, you'll start to be able to apply because you'll start hearing it over and over again. But we got to get back into that record that you did where you're paying homage to all them great songwriters.
Right.
Let's tell that story quickly about when we were in the parking lot.
So, yes, okay. So, Scotty and I are in the parking lot. This is after we had cut the 12.
In Nashville.
We already cut the 11 or 12 tracks.
Already done.
And we're in the parking lot, and I'm doing fixes. I had come back to Nashville to do some fixes. There were some things in the record that I heard that were a little bit of hiccups, and I just wanted to fix a couple things. Well, Scott said, look, he said, as long as we're here, why don't you cut the song you wrote about your dad? And I said, no, I'm no songwriter.
Well, here's the thing, though, Bash, is that this was a heavy metal song. You guys play this in the basement. I mean, you're tearing it up.
Yeah.
This had no business in the country market.
Right.
But the way you wrote it, it could have been cut in any genre. So when I heard that thing, I'm like, wait a minute here. We have to get something on this record that you did. And that was by far the best track that I've ever heard. It was amazing what you wrote.
So thank you very much.
You guys had to convince him to put it on the record. We're sitting in a parking lot, and I'm going, John, please listen to me. If you're ever going to listen to me, and if I screw up, tell me I screwed up, but I'm right on this. You have to put, it's your biggest royalty checks for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I said, you have to cut this thing. I said, just please bring it over to Mark, our producer. Talk with him, have him play a little piano on it, see if we can countryfy this thing in your style and see what happens with it. Were you happy with the cut?
Oh my God. And we did. It was everything. We added oboe, pedal steel, and a very Journey sounding guitar.
Oh yeah.
It sounded a lot, like that 80s, hair metal.
Hair band.
Hair band love songs kind of thing.
But the first three notes capture you.
Yes.
You know, some songs you go, oh, this is going to be bad. That thing was just solid. I mean, it got you all the way to David Kirschenbaum's 60 platinum records. And I mean, that song was just one of the other ones that went on to continue to grow. So it was an amazing journey with that record for sure.
Yeah, it ended up actually taking me to the LA Music Awards. And that's where I met one of the judges was David Kirschenbaum. He did Tracy Chapman and Janet Jackson.
God, look what they just did with Tracy's new song with Luke Combs.
I know it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's still working.
He's still working. There's so much, you guys, we're going to get into, and we're excited to share all this with you. We have a lot of experience at a lot of different things. Again, it's our story. It may not be your story, but it's our story, and that's what we're excited to share.
And whether you're a listener or in the garage or wanting to take next step or wondering what the next step is for you, man, pay attention, come back next week, catch the next one, and tell somebody about us. And if you have questions, they can get online, right? And drop me off.
We have a whole website. Be mean, be nice, be whatever you want to be. We don't care, but just don't be in your mom's basement yelling at us because we'll delete it.
Don't do that. But if you have questions or topics or ideas you want us to talk about, feel free to drop us a line.
Yeah, if we can help, we will.
We're pretty much retired. This is what we do now, so we have time to really focus on what we're doing here.
What about the guests? Think about the guests we're bringing.
Oh my gosh,
you know what? And that's going to be their story and thing that they're going to be sharing it. And we're excited for that because you guys, we have everybody from producers, from music investors to families who come down to Nashville and just enjoy themselves down there and what they did. I'm telling you, it's an amazing town. It's an amazing city. And we look forward to sharing Drop Me Off in Nashville with y'all.
And we are really having a good time.
I just said y'all, and I'm from Hibbing, Minnesota.
I know, isn't that right? Yeah, I know. But it gets on you.
It grows on you.
Yes, it's like a fungus. Listen.
Hey, till next week.
Till next week, man.
Yes, sir. Good
Hats off to you.
Bye.
Thanks for joining Sabastian and Scott. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Drop Me Off in Nashville family. Engineering and production provided by Podcast Production Music.
Well, Nashville, can't thank you enough for all the time.
Y'all come back now. Here?